Okay, guys, we're going to be looking at Unit 7, Outcome 3. And just like before, I want you guys to write the problems as we're going, and then feel free to pause it. This one's going to go pretty quick. So we have Outcome 3, finding the zeros. And if you remember, finding the zeros are the opposite of the factors that are given. So here in question 15, it says, given that the zeros are 2, x equals 2, and x equals -9, what is the quadratic equation? So we have, again, x equals 2 and x equals -9. So the factors are going to be the opposites, and it looks like this. So I have x minus 2 instead of the positive 2, it's the opposite, times x plus 9 instead of -9, and we put that equal to 0. Okay. Then what we need to do to get the quadratic equation is we want to expand it. And how we expand it is by multiplying or doing the distributive property. So I like to draw my little bunny hops here. So I have x times x times 9, -2 times x, -2 times 9. And that looks like this. I have x squared. X times x is x squared. X times 9 is 9x. -2 times x is -2x. And then negative 2 times 9 is -18. We still have that equal to 0. Now we have like terms that we need to combine here. The -2x and the 9x, which gives us a total of 7x in the middle there. That is our possible quadratic equation. So that is our solution. I'm going to have one more like that here. So given that the zeros are x equals 3 and x equals 5, what is the quadratic equation? Again, we have x equals 3 and x equals 5. We want to do the opposites of those. So I have x minus 3 in one parentheses and x minus 5 in the other. We put that equal to 0 because we're finding zeros. Now we expand using the distributive property. X times x is x squared. X times -5 is -5. -3 times x is -3x. -3 times -5 is +15. Combine our like terms. So we have x squared, -5 and -3 is -8. X squared minus 8x plus 15 equals 0. That is one possible quadratic equation. Given that the zeros are x equals -2 and x equals 7, what is the quadratic equation? Again, we have our zeros of -2 and 7. We want to find the opposites. So we have a +2, so x plus 2, and x minus 7. We put that equal to 0. Expand again. X times x is x squared. X times -7 is -7x. 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times -7 is 14, -14. Next, we combine our like terms again. And we have x squared minus 5x. -7 plus 2 is -5. Minus 14 equals 0. There we go. Number 18, this says, given that the equation f of x equals x times x minus 1 times x plus 3, match the correct graph below. We're using the same exact idea that we were on the last few problems, that the zeros, here we have the factors, are opposite. The factors are opposite of the zeros. So we have x equals 0. This is x equals 0. We're just putting all of this equal to 0. X minus 1, we use the opposite. X minus 1 is +1. X plus 3 is -3. So what we do now is we look on the graph, or we can put our zeros on the graph at those three spots. On the first one, so let's see if these match up here. So this has a 0 at 0, 1, and +3. We have 0, 1, but we have a -3, so this first graph does not work. For number C, letter C here, we have -3, -1, and 0. We know we have a 0, but this should be a positive, not a negative. So that one doesn't work. Let's check letter C here. We have a -3. We have a 0 and a 1. So we have a -3, a 0, and a 1. That does match up. So all of those match. So that's going to be our solution. Let's check if D works as well. So here we have 0, 1, and 4. That's wrong right there. So we know that that's not going to work. All right, one more. We have f of x equals x minus 3 times x plus 2. Again, the zeros are going to be the opposites of our factors. So I'm going to have x positive 3, x equals positive 3, and x equals negative 2. So I'm looking for a graph that has zeros at 3 and negative 2. If you remember, zeros are the x-intercepts. So this one, the first example, we have -2 and +3. -2 and +3 does work. Okay, let's check all the other ones and see if they work as well. For example, B, we have -3 and -2. That's the opposite of what we want. That's what would happen if you didn't switch them. So that's wrong. The next one, we have -3 and +3. We don't have anything at the 2, so that doesn't work either. And the last one, we have -2 and +2. This person left out the 3's here, so that doesn't work either. Our answer is example A.